So this tutorial is going to be here. It's a pattern by the Quilted Cow. It is for the beach bag and it's in the Helpful Heifer series. And if you want to make it, you can buy the postcard from them, and or if you buy a kit, I bet the paper pattern will come with it. But this is what you will need if you are making it. And so I got all my materials cut out, and these are going to be the main bands that go across the top. So here it is on the ironing board. It's almost a square. There's one side that's about 1 inch longer than the other side. So you're going to find the longest side, and on the longest side you're going to fold each raw edge under about 1/2 inch. And then you're going to take this and you're just going to fold it in half, match everything up, and then you're going to press so it will look like this. Okay, so I've got all my other pieces. I'm going to press this and then we'll go into the next step. Alright, the next step that you're going to do is you're going to open up, this is the mesh, and you're going to open up each end and you're going to sandwich the mesh. And I've just brought it up just about the same. I folded it under down. I folded the raw edge down when I was making my main bands. And then I'm going to just fold this over and make sure everything is aligned. And this one I've already done and I've clipped. And now I am going to top stitch. So I'm going to top stitch here all the way down, and I'm going to top stitch here all the way down. Alright, so here's what it looks like. I have it folded in half. I matched up my bands and I gave this a press. Mesh is a little tricky. It can be quite shifty and particular. I sewed it once and I didn't quite like it, so I ended up ripping it out. And what I did was, let's just take this one right here. Let's just say this was folded over like that on both sides. I ended up putting a little bit of my, if you have Elmer's white glue, or if you have a fabric glue stick, or I have some craft fuse glue. I just ended up putting a little bit of glue there and a little bit of glue on the other side, and then folding it in half with the mesh sandwiched in between, and then giving it a good press, and that helped keep everything in place much better. And then when I did that, I re-sewed. So now we're going to do some French seam. So I guess since the fabric's the same, it doesn't really matter which is the outside and inside. Just fold it in half and clip. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. The pattern does suggest using a zigzag stitch if you would like, and that's what we're going to do first. So I ended up doing a zigzag, and as I zigzag, it kind of like gathered the ends in a little bit, so that's kind of what it looks like. So now to finish the French seam, you want to hide all this. You can even might trim that up just a little bit. So you're going to turn it inside out. Alright, so I turned it inside out, and then I lined everything up and I gave it a good press. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put it back into the machine using a straight stitch, and you're going to stitch all the way down according to the seam allowance. And then that stitch will be wide enough so it will tuck all of those raw edges inside that stitch. So you're going to do that to both sides. Now if you have a serger, you could have just used a serger and skipped these steps. I do have one, but I'm just doing the French seam to show everyone how it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my pattern, find out what the seam allowance is on this one, and just stitch down on both sides, and that will encase all those raw edges in the stitch. Alright, so that's what it looks like. It's easier to see it up here on the fabric, but it does go all the way down, and it is on both sides. So when you do open it up, you're not going to get any of those raw edges there. So go ahead and turn it inside out, because the part that you sewed, you don't want that on the outside of your bag. You want that on the inside of your bag. On the outside of your bag, you want that nice, crisp, clean edge, and then on the inside, you'll have your French seam sitting in there. And I gave it a good press, and now we're going to make the handles and attach the handles to the bag. Alright, so you're going to make the strap. Now if you want a wider strap, just cut a wider length of fabric. Okay, this is pretty narrow, and it can be customizable. If you want to use a different color fabric, you can use something that's different that goes with your main panels. Totally up to you. But what you're going to do is you get made bag straps. It's just like making bag straps. You want to, on the short ends, you want to fold in your raw edge because you don't want that sticking out on your bag. So this is your only opportunity to hide it. You're going to do that on both ends. And then you're going to fold it completely in half all the way down and give it a good press, and that's going to give you that center line that you need all the way down through your fabric. And then once you open it up, so you can still see my center line, you're going to take each of your raw edges and fold it into that center line, and you're going to press that all the way down. And then once that's done, you're going to fold it in half again, and you're going to give it a press all the way down. Okay, and then once that's pressed all the way down, you're just going to top stitch, and you can do the whole perimeter. This is really short. I'll probably do the perimeter. I'll just start here, sew all the way down, and then turn and come all the way back around to top stitch everything closed and to make it look nice. And then we'll attach it to the bag. Alright, so I have this attached. I measured down according to the pattern, down from the top of the bag in, and placed it and clipped it in place. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try sewing on my stitch lines, but if that, yeah, because they're close enough. So I'm going to stitch like a box, and then I'm going to make an X. And they have a really great diagram on the pattern where you start here, you go over, down, over, up, just like you're making a square, and then once you hit that corner again, you're going to pivot and do an X, and then you're going to go back on this stitching until you reach that corner, and then you're going to pivot and do the other X. And that X really helps reinforce and keep the ends of the strap stabilized. So it's attached to both ends on the inside, and now I'm going to work on getting those X stitched down, and once that's done, you are done with your beach bag, or whatever you want to use it for, unless you want to add Velcro onto your bag. So there it is, all done. That's what it looks like from the outside, and open her up. That's what it looks like from the inside. I used 2 different colored threads for the top and bottom, so inside, outside. So your beach bag is complete, unless you want to do the optional Velcro. So the instructions for how much to cut of the Velcro and what size are on the pattern. Not unless you got a kit, it'll come. But anyway, cut what you need, and if you need to find the middle of your bag, just fold it in half, give it a finger press, and you'll probably put your Velcro down here and just stitch around the perimeter really well, maybe a couple times to really in reinforcement, and then place the other one on the corresponding opposite side and just stitch around the perimeter. I'm not adding Velcro right now, but that is how you would do it. It doesn't say where to place it or how far to place it down, so I guess that could be to you. You can place it like more in the middle, you can place it more in the top, you can place 2 pieces of Velcro. I mean, you've got options, okay? Or even if you know how to add magnetic snaps before you sewed your main panels onto your mesh, you could have added some magnetic snaps as well. So there's lots of options there for that. So enjoy sewing your beach bag, and I hope this is very helpful to you. If not, ask me questions. I'll do my best. Thanks.